Okay, Needle Through Brick is an older documentary. I've got the free link in the description below. And it's about the loss of Chinese Kung Fu. The unique thing about this is they talk with grandmasters of different styles and they show them doing, their motions. And it's beautiful to watch. The unique thing, of course, is when they show some of these grandmasters of certain styles that pretty much once they die, the style is gone. They show them working regular jobs, which is really interesting. A lot of it is people were taught Kung Fu back in the day because that's how you survived. If someone got you with a knife, you had two options. One, you had to defeat the person, or two, you were most likely dead. Things aren't like that now, so you don't need to worry about learning these sort of things. And they did mention earlier, it's like, well, either your Kung Fu was good, it's like, or you probably lost an arm. So as the modernization has taken over, there's no reason to learn it. And a few of them, when they discussed the process of learning, it's like, well, yeah, I had 100 students. Okay, well, how many of them actually really became proficient at it? 10 to 30. How many do you think would have continued and could have actually taught somebody? Maybe one. And then a discussion about, it kind of fell out of favor due to communism and a lot of the homogenization of different cultures and the loss of the true cultural identity of China. There's a moment where a guy goes, lots of kids nowadays and teens, it's like, I don't think they're even Chinese. Because they've entirely abandoned all of the cultural norms and all of the traditions. And it was interesting to hear that as they went, a lot of this happened during the rise of communism. They outlawed a lot of the martial arts. And the government stopped doing any sort of funding when it came to keeping the culture alive and the traditions. That's really interesting. I mean, this of course is an older documentary, and you can tell that it's a guy with a camera. So sometimes the dialogue isn't always caught, which is why I actually preferred it when they had the subtitles. So you get to hear everything. Otherwise, some people, since they're talking farther away from the camera, you might not actually hear all the words. But I think that just from a cultural standpoint, really interesting documentary. As well as from, there are thousands upon thousands of styles of Kung Fu. Most of them have nothing written down because it was hard to translate that way. It was watch my movements, watch me do this, I do this with you, and then years of repetition to doing it, and that's almost entirely lost.